Perfect. So for the purpose of this interview, please tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Joy Adesanya. I am a serial entrepreneur and I own Sshhh Lingerie and the Braiding Vault.
Amazing, amazing. I love the title, serial entrepreneur. So before we really delve into that, let's take it back. How and where did it all start for you? So give us a brief sort of journey as to where you started and how you got to where you are now.
So my entrepreneurial journey started 5 years ago. My entrepreneurial journey started 5 years ago, but I relocated to Nigeria 9 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I was actually in corporate for about 4 years. And then after the corporate world, I kind of decided that I wanted to come back to London. I had enough. And while I was in London, I was kind of trying to figure out, okay, if I come back, what am I coming back to? In that space, I also was trying to figure out if I did stay, what could I possibly do? So I started looking at problems in the market space, things that needed kind of a solution to, and I started with things that I couldn't find as a returnee in the Nigerian space, in the market. So one of those things was lingerie. Found it very to access lingerie in Nigeria, and the idea came from there, and I kind of ran with it in 2018, and that has been in progress since then.
Amazing. I think that's really inspiring, the fact that you obviously took the leap to move back 9 years ago to go into corporate and then sort of transitioning into entrepreneurship, but as a result of looking at a problem that you were able to kind of see something that you wanted yourself and weren't able to find, and providing that solution. So I think sometimes, especially now that entrepreneurship seems quite sexy at the moment, everyone's very much let me go and start this events business, let me go and do this, because it seems glamorous. It seems like that's the thing to do. But I think the key thing for anyone watching is to identify a problem, figure out how you are providing that solution, and I guess hit the market from there.
Definitely.
Perfect. So having spent sort of a significant part of your life in the UK, as you did mention, what actually made you sort of want to return to Nigeria and sort of go into the corporate space there?
I kind of felt like I had hit a glass ceiling in the UK. Wow. Before I was working in PR, and it was a very mundane, repetitive job, waking up, and I could see my life going in a certain cycle. I'm very spontaneous by nature, and I'm not an office person. You can't keep it in a place for too long. I get bored very easily. So I actually went to LA first. And tried to see if I could relocate to Los Angeles and see how that would pan out for me. But it didn't kind of connect the way I wanted it to. But I always felt a sense of belonging when I visited Nigeria. I just felt like this was home, and I felt like the potential was vast. And I really wanted to be a part of that. So when the wave was still, very exciting back then, I don't know about now, I kind of bandwagon, and I was like, yeah, let me go. And literally within a week of being there, I got my first job.
Oh wow.
So it was definitely a divine alignment, what I will call it, and I was favorable in that sense, because from that point I was in jobs back to back before I got into sort of starting my own business. So I didn't go to Nigeria with the hopes of I'm going to start a business. I literally went to Nigeria because I felt like that felt like home, and it felt like there was an opportunity for me to become the CEO or the marketing exec for a big organization, not necessarily my own brand. So that's what it was. Sorry about that. I came in.
That's okay, no problem. I understand the Zoom issue. I actually got goosebumps when you were saying that, because I think sometimes people, and it's quite common now that we hear people saying, oh, I'm moving back because of this, I'm moving back with this particular goal in mind. But it's very rare. I think maybe obviously there are people watching that can resonate with your story and your journey, but it's not as common that you hear someone saying that, oh, it just felt right, so I'm just going to jump and do it. And I definitely resonate with that. That's probably why I think I got goosebumps. And I think that's probably the scary part. But going back to what you said about your mantra, feel the fear and doing it anyway, just jumping, and you literally landed on your feet, you know, back to back to back, like you said, that's a different level of favor. And my prayer is that anyone watching this will tap into that grace, because that's incredible. So like you said, sort of starting your lingerie company, how did you sort of go about building a team, training staff to sort of maintain good customer care? Because as we know, as Black business owners here in the UK, and of course globally as well, there is that constant sort of discourse about poor customer service or Black businesses not being up to par. And obviously we are all Black in Nigeria, but what was that like for you?
I've always been somebody that pays attention to detail, and I care about processes and the way things are ran. When I got to Nigeria, one of the most key important things for me was to understand how the system works and how the people are, understand the language, the dialect that is spoken, and try and engage and embed myself into that. I was doing this just so that I could basically emerge into the system without the outcast that, oh, she's only just come from London, the JJC, as they say. And by doing that, I was able to understand a lot of things: the setup there, the way the economy works, the dialect, the broken English that you speak to vendors in order to get things done. And I carry a lot of this into the setup of my own business. Starting my business, I always said to myself, if I'm not going to do it right, there's no point in me starting at all. So, based on my marketing degree, I knew in order for me to effectively penetrate the market, I had to do some form of market research to understand, first of all, what the need of the consumer was. And so I put together some market research with a company that I found, and sent out questionnaires to about 250 women that filled out the question. And then after that, we did a focus group of about 50 women aged 18 to 52, where we kind of sat down in a venue, and we spoke about what it was they were looking for: colors, price point, the feel, everything like that. And I was able to gather all that information and pour it into my business. I also knew that I didn't want to take any back doors, because I'm trying to build a business that's going to be sustainable and preferably outlive my legacy. I wanted to make sure that I did things right. Now, it's very easy to go through the back door in Africa. There's all that's willing to cut a deal with you or make it downplay a certain structure to you so that you can just jump on the ladder. I didn't want that. I wanted to build a business structure that if an international investor came and said, you know what, we want to buy into this, my hands are clean. And it's important for me to show people that it can be done that way without really going to knock on a certain back door. So I put accountants in place. I got a lawyer to draft contracts for me. I did a lot of research. I looked online in terms of prices, in terms of how to manage staff. I'm a person anyway, so I engage with people. I know how to manage people very well, very effectively. And by doing all these little practices that seem very mundane and people kind of skip when they want to open a business because they're looking for the glorified version, they're not looking for the hard work version. By doing all these little steps, I was able to put processes in place that has given me the freedom and the balance to be able to travel out of the country and my business is still running.
Amazing.
So, you know, it wasn't easy, but I would say a lot of research has to go into what you're doing. Find out and understand how the economy works, how this works, the tax system, payment system, employment policies, find out how all of that works. And use your skills that you have, your international skills, your experience and your awareness, and add it to that. And then that just opens the door for you to have a sustainable business.
Absolutely. I think the key thing that I've taken away from what you've just said is about understanding the market. So actually understanding the domestic market you are trying to enter.
Yeah.
Building sustainable business requires actual understanding of the market that you're entering, as I just said. So doing your market research. I think the focus group is an amazing idea. And I think people kind of shy away from doing things like that. It's actually important. And I think in Africa, you do have that face-to-face interaction that people do benefit from a lot, obviously post-COVID, of course. And building processes, you know, to ensure that your hands are clean. I really, really do love that, because I think sometimes people think, oh, let me just give this 10 cities here, this 100. Nope, your hands are clean. Joe's hands are clean. And if Joe can do it, that means we can all do it.
Exactly.
So as an entrepreneur, how would you say you remain sharp and keep your brands relevant? I think from the conversation that I'm gathering, you are obviously on top of your own personal and professional development, but how do you remain sharp and astute that people can take these tips away? And also, how do you keep your brand relevant in the market?
You have to have a lot of foresight as an entrepreneur. You have to study current market trends, kind of see where the market is going, even in terms for your own business. And for me, I do a lot of research. I go online, I see what's trending, I see what people are trying to do now. I come up with ideas. It's part of being a creative. If you're an entrepreneur, a creative mindset. So sometimes out of the box, if everybody's doing braids in this way, why don't we try it in that way? Constantly developing myself and challenging myself and pushing myself based off what I've already done, because what I've already done has been established. I mean, it's all until you get it done, right? And then you get it done and then something else is on the table. And so how do you execute that? I want my people to be efficient. I want my service to be spoken well of. So I train my staff. In terms of, and it's a very simple rule that people overlook. You treat others how you want to be treated. So basically, if you put yourself in the parameters and say, how do I want to be treated when I walk into XY organization? That's kind of the kind of experience that you should want to give to other people, and personalize it to each and every person that comes through the door. So I read a lot of books. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I enroll in short courses to kind of brush up my knowledge. Even if I feel like I already know about it, I still try and learn from it. I have a teachable spirit. So in my organization, be it the housekeeper or the manager, you have a say. You can tell me, we don't think this is working. Let's try something else. And I will be very open to hearing it and trying it in their direction. So these little nuggets have helped me to kind of stay on top of my game, and just continue to evolve in the market space, because you see how everybody's doing something and you just want to bring a different flair to it. And how do you do that? You don't do that by just waking up and being the boss. You have to invest in yourself through research, through just sometimes having a realistic conversation with yourself and just saying to yourself, do you know what, this isn't working. I'm just going to have to let this go. And that is the humility that comes with being an entrepreneur. You have to be humble to be able to sit back and just say, okay, this isn't working. What next? What else can I try? And because I'm not afraid to fall, that has been the wings that carry me. I'm not afraid to hit my head and just say, do you know what, I got it wrong. Because there's a learning curve. And from that learning curve, I promise you, I'm going to come back stronger.
Amazing. And that's so powerful. Attitude to failure, whether you're an entrepreneur, professional, creative, whatever space it is that you occupy, your attitude to failure is imperative. You need to have a good one. Like you said, when you fall, you get back up stronger and harder, and you're able to continue to kill it in your marketplace. So let's talk more about sort of the Braiding vault. So you've opened like 4 stores, if I'm not mistaken, across Lagos and Abuja. I can't lie to you, when I read that, I said, wow, who is this superwoman? Because to open 4 stores, to manage and oversee those operations, that's admirable. But I imagine that it hasn't been easy for you. What sort of challenges would you say you faced in that process, and how did you overcome said challenges?
Well, we're about to open our 5th one now, so just pray.
Okay. Let's give you the superwoman status, okay? Because wow.
In all honesty, expansion is key So I'm trying to build a business model that works. And a franchising rule is if you can replicate your business within a dedicated time, within a space time, if you replicate the business and the business is doing just as successful as the first one, then you've got a great business model at hand. I want to be able to reach all 4 corners of Africa with my brands. The Braiding Vault came 3 years after Sshhh. As you know, it's still a new baby. And it was an idea and concept that I tell everybody, and I don't take it away from him, that was given to me directly by God.
Wow.
And I took it and I decided to run with it, right? And in running with it, in under 2 years, we've opened, in a year, it's coming up to 2 years now, we've opened 2 branches with the 3rd one on the way. When there's a need in the market and there's a demand in the market, it's very important for you to be able to identify it. It's important for you to save towards a goal. The goal is not just to have one business. I mean, you want to be an entrepreneur that carries weight, not just in your environment, but in the international market space, right? And so you have to start identifying, is the problem bigger than Africa? Is the problem that can eventually penetrate other parts of the world? And if you feel that it can, when you feel that it carries some sort of weight, then the money that you make from your business, you should be reinvesting back into your business. You shouldn't be taking that out and playing with it or messing around with it. I have a business rule. I hardly touch any of my business money. The money comes in and it goes back into the business. Because I build something that is sustainable, and I'm trying to build something that has a form of expansion beyond the reach of the environment in which it serves. My message is to take Africa to the world. For years, we have been given brands and products from other parts of the world that we celebrate in Africa, but it necessarily does not originate from us. So the beauty for me was to create a brand and a product that I can take from Africa and say to the world, this is what we can do. This is what we're capable of. This is our strength, you know, so celebrate us. So when you see us in London and you see us in the USA, you will remember that this started in Nigeria, right? And for me, that is a sense of pride. That is a sense of African pride. It's a sense of heritage. And it also shows growth and fearlessness in the market space. So whenever I set up a business, it's very easy for me because I have a model that I follow. It's literally copy and paste.
Wow.
So pick up what I've done already and I paste it. Training staff and getting the right people in. There's a module for that as well. Do you know what I mean? You come into the organization, you go through certain trainings, you have certain expectations of you. Things have been set up in a way that either you want to be a part of the brand or you don't. It's very clear from the beginning. But if you want to be a part of the brand, you are rewarded for it, right? We'll grow with it, and by growing with it, there's potentials for you to develop yourself and also increase knowledge, increase your own personal wealth, because we give that opportunity to all our staff as well. We're not greedy. And it's made it very easy for me to open up a store and kind of put people in charge and sit back because they have a blueprint that they're following. So it sounds like it's a headache. You know, people think, God, 4 stores, how do you sleep at night? I'm sleeping
just fine.
I'm sleeping just fine. What you just need to ensure is you have good people in place, you train them, you let them understand the narrative of your brand. If your people see that you're passionate about your brand, they will also be passionate about it. If you give a piece of the pie, they will carry it like it's their own. I think a lot of mistakes that entrepreneurs make is they get greedy very quickly and they forget the people. It's the people that makes the dream work. They forget the people that are helping them to build and make their brand sustainable. And those people feel hurt and jilted and they leave. Or, you know, they something else disgruntled and they just cause some sort of mayhem. If you give opportunities, and I'm not disregarding the fact that sometimes you can do all you can for people and they'll still step on your toes. But genuinely, if they see your business model, how it's set up, they see how you operate, they see that, you know, in your organization, nobody's kind of walking around as I'm the boss. It gives them a sense of belonging. And they want to be a part of that and they want to grow with that. And all my staff that have been with me, they have been growing with me from the very beginning, because they understand the message, they understand the vision, they the mission, and they know that if this fails, it's not just me, it's all of us. Right. So how this organization runs is a representation of me, but it's also showing who you are as a person. So that's effectively how all 4 stores are running. I mean, I've been out of the country now 2+ months.
Oh wow, no issues.
Yeah, they're running absolutely fine.
Amazing. So you've obviously dropped like so many gems, but more specifically, we know that sort of navigating the world of business as a woman can bring its challenges. Talk to us of sort of navigating business as a woman in Africa, now more specifically Nigeria. So what one piece of advice would you give to any woman, young or old, sort of looking at this interview right now, wanting to start a business or wanting to develop their business?
Don't let your voice be silenced. I think it's a very important message to tell women of color from Africa, because in the society that we come from, women are second-class citizens, and it takes a lot to get the respect of your counterpart, the male counterpart, in the market space. And so therefore you cap yourself. You cap your capabilities, you cap your abilities, you cap your vision, and you stay within the box, right? If I sit down at the table with my counterpart, my male counterpart, and he says to me, oh, no, you know, you can't do this. I want to know why. I want to question you why I can't do it. You need to give reasons that match why you couldn't do it as a man. Not just because I'm a female and you're talking to me and you're just kind of saying it like, this will be too much headache for you. And, you know, you're a woman and you need to take it easy. I don't need to take anything easy. I need to understand how I can kick down the doors that you've kicked down. Do you understand? And more so how I can do it quicker, because I ain't trying to time that you. So I think it's important for women to try and be vocal and not be afraid of, you know, their vision and be afraid of their skills. I mean, parents have struggled to put us through school and college, give us an education. It doesn't stop because you become a housewife. I'm a housewife and you become a mother and your degree goes under the bed. Do you understand? And then your husband is the main income earner in the house and you're not really doing anything. You find your own voice, right? It's very important for you for your children, for the women that are coming behind you to also understand that you are vocal and you did not go to school. I mean, hands up, if you want to be out, stay at home and be a housewife, that's good.
Of course, yeah.
There must be more to that. For some people, there must be more to that because that's also a routine. I did explain to you, I don't like routines. I don't know how I'm going to it. So it's very important for you to be able to sit comfortably at a table. It could be just little things. It could be part of women empowerment groups. Be training yourself constantly and doing small part-time jobs. It could be running your own business. Whatever it is, don't silence your voice. Do you understand? Don't silence it. Don't let everything that you've dreamt of and everything you've desired to become as a woman, you've kind of paused because somebody says you can't. It doesn't make
I agree. And I think now we are seeing the empowerment of women, like these groups that you're talking about and these communities growing so much, and women actually standing up and using their voices, thankfully, with regards to social media and platforms like ours. But we really do want to encourage like all women, young and old, to continue to be vocal and know and understand that your journey isn't just for you. I believe we're all sort of like connected in one way or another. Like you said, you sharing your journey today is empowering me, empowering inspiring so many people that would watch this interview. And there's power in sharing, and there's so much power, I believe, in vulnerability and being honest about our experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of stripping back now and going to sort of your returnee experience and journey, obviously 9 years in the game. I mean, you got some rings on your belt, you know. So where do you think returnees go wrong when they are returning back to their country of origin, having maybe lived and schooled abroad?
So I told this to one of my friends, and she's also like a mentee, a mentor, and she wanted to relocate to Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her two things. I said, first thing, holiday mode is different from living mode. When you come to Africa on holiday, the prospects are endless. You see all the opportunities, and you're like, oh my God, I could do this, I can live. Life is not like that. That's holiday. We get ready for the people coming in, Decembers and Easter, and we're ready for you. We're ready to show you a good time. But it's very different from when you live there every day. So you come with the mindset of, what am I coming for? Am I coming to come and enjoy life? Am I coming because I want to effectively make a change in the environment in which I'm going to be staying in?
Right.
Or identify the reason why you're coming to Africa. You can't get there and be partying every week. Partying Friday to Sunday. We've seen you in every club. We know you. There's no goal. You spend all your money within the first 2 weeks. It's just, and it's not a sustainable plan. Holiday mode. That's, you do all of that, then you come back to London and you hustle again.
Right, and then come back.
That's the first thing I told her. I said, the second thing I told her is, do not measure my life with how you expect to live when you get here. I've been years. So if you see me driving and living in a certain house and things seem to be accessible and I've got a maid and I've got a driver, you cannot measure your 3 days or you can't measure your 1 week of being here to my 9 years of being here.
Right.
Right? You need to understand that you need to work to make your own connections, be dependent or reliant on anybody to drag you through. You kind of have your own way. Yes, you can have people point you in the right direction, but don't rely on them to pull you all the way through.
Of course.
I've come to realize something about Nigeria. I don't know how it is the rest of Africa, but Nigeria is great when you come in and you're hanging out with your friends that live there. But everyone goes back to their life. Everyone goes back to their day-to-day. Everybody goes to businesses that they run, and then you're left sitting there alone. And then you have a sense of dependency on these people that have set up their lives and kind of gotten through it on their own. So you need to come with an independent mindset and not a codependent mindset. I'm so sorry getting a call that's coming through.
That's okay.
Oh Lord, it's coming.
It happens.
So sorry. I think somebody's trying to reach me and I have to message them.
No problem.
Yeah. So don't return being codependent. Return with an independent mindset. Okay, I'm going to do this. This is how I'm going to navigate. These are the people that I'm going to engage with. If you come like that, people are more willing to help.
Right.
Than you come, well, I expected you to do this for me. Expectation, kill dreams. Because you're expecting, I've got an uncle that works in oil and gas. And then you get there and your uncle in oil and gas is saying, see me next month. Just, send me your CV or something. You're thinking, what? That's my uncle. He's supposed to help me. He's not his responsibility.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not his responsibility at all. So anyone coming back to Nigeria, first of all, take away holiday mode. Second, come with an independent mindset. It's very, very important. Know the reason why you're coming. When I relocated, I was no one. My whole family live in the UK. By myself, I literally went with like £100 in my pocket. My grandma, like down the road from me, there was no friends, there was nothing. But I knew that I'm going to find my way. so that my story can carry weight. When I say you can literally come to Nigeria and make it, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying because my uncle helped me or my auntie is in politics. No, I worked from grassroots up.
Right.
So have the mindset, that independent mindset, and yeah, sky will be the limit.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You mentioned connections. How did you actually go about sort of building your own community and your own tribe? Because obviously the journey of entrepreneurship can be quite lonely, obviously sort of building something yourself. How did you go about doing that, as you said, all your family being in the UK?
Yeah, I'm still building. When I started my own business, it was a very lonely journey. And you meet friends along the way. You meet people from the diaspora, have come from America, come back from the UK, and they're trying to set business up as well. And you have a common goal. So a friendship is formed. The common goal, all trying to set up a business, right? So a friendship is formed. But at the same time, I'm seen, but I'm reserved, if that makes sense. And I'm quite private with certain aspects of life and even business. Because I'm an independent thinker, I didn't necessarily have a group of people that I can sit with and communicate and say, to do this, what do you think? The only person that I could do that with was my mother in the UK. So I would often call her and be like, Mom, I'm going to do this, and can you pray about it? And what do you think? And she'll be like, don't worry, run with it. Or, you know, she'll give me her opinion. And in Lagos, I just tend to just do it. And then, you know, you make friends from there. When you're kind of doing stuff, they kind of want to join your table and they want to be a part of your story. So I'm still building my tribe. I have friends, but in the business world, I'm still building that tribe, because a lot of people are very protective of their brands. They're very protective of their businesses, so they don't share a lot with you. And this is just the truth. It's very rare. I have one amazing person, shout out to her. She is the owner of the nail boutique in Nigeria. I met her, she was a client. She still is mine, and that's how I met her. And the amount of advice she's given me and the amount of doors that she's opened for me, I just find it is mind-blowing. Because I'm like, a normal Nigerian wouldn't do this. I don't, she's not Nigerian, she's from the UK, but then went back to Nigeria as well. So she understands that mindset of empowerment and building together. Do you understand? So she doesn't shy away from saying, Joy, this is my supplier. You can contact them if you need anything. Which it was mind-blowing, because normally in Nigeria, nobody's telling you. They'll just say, work hard, work hard. Nobody's giving you the names of who's doing it or how to do it. And so it just becomes difficult in business, and it becomes very lonely in business as well. So I'm still building my tribe. I'm still building my tribe. It hasn't been formed yet. I know people here and there. My strength comes from my family, to be honest. They kind of encourage me and they push me, and they pat me on the back, and when I'm down and I feel like, okay, I can't do it anymore, they pick me up. And I just have to give the credit to them, because there's actually no group of people in my life else that I can give that to.
That's powerful. I think even though, like you said, you have your support system, and that alone in itself is probably stronger than any other circle that you could sort of build off of frivolous connections, because that's where your strength therein lies, which I think is amazing. So just to round up, let's sort of just discuss the future of Africa. What would you say excites you the most about the development of Nigeria and the continent as a whole?
No, fine. Sorry. Nigeria right now. I'm trying to be positive.
Be real. It's a real platform. Please be real.
Nigeria right now is not in the best shape.
Mm-hmm.
When I left the UK to come to Nigeria 9 years ago, if you asked me this question 9 years ago, I will tell you the opportunities, I will tell you the potential for growth and, shattering glass ceilings and brands that are not known to Africa, into Africa, penetrating the market that way. Now I will tell you, stay where you are, to be real. Stay where you are until our government figure out what it is they're doing.
Right.
The economy has dipped greatly, especially after COVID. I mean, I understand a lot of economies are going through a recession phase, but the way that ours is kind of spiraling out of control is a headache for business owners.
Right.
If you have a great amount of money saved up here, and then you want to come to Nigeria and open a business, I will tell you to wait until the Forex stabilizes, the economy stabilizes, our policies stabilizes. It's too much turbulence and too much uncertainty. Am I hopeful that things will get better? Yes, I am. Because Africa always has a way of breaking through. We're resilient, you know what I mean? We've taken enough whiplashes for us to not stay bent. We find a way to get back up, right? But can I tell you when that's going to be? No. I think for the next 2 years, Nigeria's economy is really just going to be tried and tested. Currently now, a lot of businesses are shutting down. A lot of people are relocating and moving back because they have the option. They're back to the UK or the US or wherever the case may be. And you kind of have to keep motivating the people that you do have there to keep pushing and keep thriving. I would like to see Nigeria rise again. I'd like Nigeria to get back to the place of respect on the map. I hear stories from my mum 20 years ago and 15 years ago, how respected Nigerians were around the world, and how much influence we had in politics and even in our currency. And right now, it's a lot of negative news about Nigerians. The average person is suffering because they're earning less than $1 a day in Nigeria. The rate of insecurity has increased. I mean, you're increasing the Forex, and the average person can't even afford. They couldn't even afford, a bag of rice before, but now it just doesn't even make any sense. Wow. So I didn't see this coming. If I'm going to be very candid with you, I didn't see this coming. I thought our projections were going to be great. I thought we were going to go in a direction that would strengthen our image worldwide, but something's wrong. And until we get it right within the land, I don't think anybody else should come and suffer it.
That's very real, because I spoke to a political activist and a lawyer yesterday for this platform as well, and she actually said a similar thing. There is a growing sentiment that Nigerians in Nigeria do want Nigeria to rise again, but before that can happen, an internal work needs to be done, and that internal work is across all stakeholders: public sector, private sector, charities. Everyone needs to do the internal work, and those in the country also need to sort of rewire their mindset to kind of program for incoming success, because like you said, everything's about cycles. Good happens and bad happens, but it's up to us to be vehicles for change for that good time to actually come. So I think that's a call to action for entrepreneurs within Nigeria, those with outside of Nigeria, to also look at maybe how you can connect and collaborate to help people on the ground if you are abroad and not looking to relocate anytime soon.
I mean, like you rightly said, I will put it in a plain format. We need to do an internal audit. That's what we need. Nigeria needs an internal audit of processes, the policies, the leaders.
Right.
And until that is done effectively and is done with transparency, we will keep repeating the same cycles.
Right.
Or you have the few that come back and make a difference, but they are the unsung heroes. They would never make the cut. Do you know what I mean? Somebody a while ago, I said, well, I have businesses in Nigeria. They said to me, oh, but you've never won an award. Why in Nigeria? And I said, well, because you have to be part of a certain circle. Do you understand? You have to be part of a certain clique. And then it's not based on your work in the society. It's based on who you know. Right. And if they give me the award, then to be honest, I don't want it. Until we start breaking down political cliques and social cliques, the agenda will not change. All will happen is we're recycling the system. So what is already on ground, a new political party will come into place. They'll just recycle and they'll feed it back. And we keep taking it. And people are tired. And there's only so much you can do. The truth is, there's only so much we can do. You can play your part in society. You can cross all the T's and dot all the I's and ensure that, you know, you're being a good citizen and you're paying it forward and you're empowering people. But it becomes draining when your efforts are constantly drowned out by the people above you. You know, there's so much, it actually pains me because there's so much opportunity. I don't think you even understand the vast opportunity that there is in Nigeria alone, right? And they call them the giants of Africa, but I don't even think they realize how much of giants they are. I go on drive sometimes and I see just land and I'm like, the tourism space is just untapped. Like, there's countries that have far less what we do and they're running high on tourism, right? We can't even run on tourism. We can't. It just doesn't. Maintenance culture is, it's very discouraging. I don't know. It really does upset me.
I can imagine. And in all honesty, a lot of the Nigerians that I've spoken to, just on a personal and professional level, have expressed this same sentiment. And I think that there is something to be said about the opportunities, right? And it's all about perspective. As you said, this is the reality of the situation. No one's sort of disregarding that. But as you said, with regards to tourism, that is sort of a stream that could be capitalized in an immense way, and it would flock people to and up and down the country. But these are all things that need to be sort of looked at. I like what you said about the internal audit. The internal work does need to be done, and that is for everybody. I feel like no person is left out of the internal audit. Everyone needs to be looked at, as do all systems and processes. So Definitely. To end on sort of like an anecdotal note, what would you say people should keep an eye out for when it comes to your businesses, anything new that's incoming as a serial entrepreneur? Sort of what's the future looking like for you in the next sort of year or so?
We've got a lot up our sleeves, just trying to release them all at the right time, you know, because at one point you're trying to be sensitive to the market.
Of course.
Economy is going through, because you know it's constantly like this one. People be like, this one's just bringing out products. You know what I mean? But we have a lot coming out. One I can tell you about, which is in about less than a month, is we have our own hair growth kit line coming out, and I'm very excited about that because it's a product that's close to my heart. We made all the products from scratch. And it was made in Nigeria. And it was important for me to sell that narrative because most times white labeling, we go to China, we pick up a product, we'll stick our label on it. And I wanted something that we would be proud of as Africans, and also to kind of open up the conversation of, oh, so you can do this in Nigeria. Mm. The capacity to do this in Nigeria. So we have our own hair growth kit line coming out. Mm-hmm. It's 5 different products that are coming to the market in November. And we have a few more stores that are going to pop up. I'm not going to tell you where. A few more salons that will pop up over the next course of 1 year. Mm. Less of me, more of the business. I try my best, I really do, to separate myself from the business and the business forward. But I've come to realize that in Africa, being the face of the business helps. Yeah. And it drives traffic and it gives it a personal narrative. People just want to know more about the brand, and they want to know more about the person behind the brand. So over the next 1 year, there'll be 1 or 2 seminars that may pop up with myself, kind of talking to young entrepreneurs, women, just trying to figure out next steps, what to do in terms of their business. I'm not as, what's the word that I'm looking for? So, you know, I don't use a lot of business jargons. You know, and people, and they'll be talking, I don't. I'm very real. Yeah. In my approach, in my experiences. And so that always comes through in my conversations. And I want people to see the realness of being an owner. It's not beautiful. It's not Instagram and carrying a Birkin. Took a while before that Birkin came. There's a lot of work that goes behind it. Yeah. So over the next course of 1 year, you'll be hearing a few little nuggets from me, and just seeing the growth of the business, to be honest.
Amazing. I'm definitely excited to see what you guys kind of have up your sleeves. So both of your amazing brands, anything new that you come out with, and definitely your course as well, which I think I'd implore anyone watching that when it does come out to actually join, because for me, I've learned so many nuggets, and I'm literally like, I wish I had my notepad to be writing, but at least I get to watch this first and then take my notes before I share it with everyone. But you're doing amazing work, and it is really admirable to see sort of a fellow returnee going back and actually doing some amazing things, and wish you continued success. So just to sort of wrap up, where can people find you if they want to connect with yourself, with your lingerie company, and with the Braiding Vault?
They can find me on Instagram, joy_a_sshhh. They can also find us at the business Instagram as well, at the Braiding Vault and at Sshhh Lingerie. Just reach out to me, send an email, and I'll try my best to get back to you. That's
amazing. I'll definitely put all of your sort of links down below for people to connect with you further. But it was a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Well done, and I wish.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.